This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Semi-automatic gun seized in St. Andrew. The police are reporting the seizure of a semi-automatic gun along with ammunition at Morgan Lane in St. Andrew. No one was arrested in connection with the recovery. The seizure was made around 10:35 on Friday morning. It is reported that a team from the Grand Spend Police conducted operations in the area where a premises was searched. According to the police, a 6 Sawyer .40 semi-automatic pistol with a magazine containing 8.40 cartridges was found. Investigations are ongoing. Bring back district constables to curb farm theft, says Bobby Pottinger. The transfer of district constables from farming communities to tourist resort town to protect hotels and other tourist interests has paved the way for farm thieves to operate with less chances of being caught, according to board director of the coconut industry, Alric Bobby Pottinger. He used yesterday's 78th annual general meeting of the CIB to call for the return of the district constables and the greater use of non-custodial sentences to punish farm thieves. Pottinger told the coconut farmers gathered from across Jamaica and those participating via Zoom that district constables were once an integral part of rural communities, attending all farm meetings, and knew all the higglers from within the communities as well as those from outside. This insider knowledge made them invaluable assets to the other members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force whenever there was an act of predial larceny. Today, the district constable is no longer in the communities. They are either at the police station or they are gone into the tourism sector to protect hotels and their guests, and so the community is left devoid of that presence, he declared. We need to get back some of these people who gone to protect tourists. The failure of farmers to consistently use the receipt book system is also contributing to the difficulty of the police in prosecuting cases of predial larceny, according to former Custos of St. Mary. He explained that a truck driver transporting farm goods needs to have at least 3 receipts on his person when stopped by the police, one for the goods purchased, another showing that the vehicle is contracted to transport market goods, and the other showing the market for which he is destined. When they go to the market, they should never get in unless they can show the origin of the crops. That is where the breakdown occurs, he said. In fact, the truck and its contents shouldn't be seized until the driver or operator can show how he legally acquired the goods. Pottinger recounted that while he was custos, he organized the other custodes into a working group, and they, along with retired judges in the parishes, would try predial larceny cases every month, which helped to significantly reduce the burden on the judiciary system. He pointed out that when something is stolen from a farm, the case usually drags out for an extended period, with the farmer having to make the trip to court on a number of occasions, which can be very frustrating and time-consuming for them, but works to the advantage of the offender. The fellow who has a case in court, he can come back and steal again, enough to cover his legal fees, Pottinger told the annual general meeting. Meanwhile, under his pilot project, Pottinger said they opted for non-custodial sentences as well as the use of incarcerated inmates to do a day release program in which prisoners would work on farms and return to the prison at nights. He wants to see the initiative resumed and expanded. The non-custodial sentence is something that I am recommending that we use. We don't have to send it to prison for everything. They can work with probation officers on the farm and serve the sentence on the farm and go back to the prison, and we must use it and make it work, he stated. I was able to use short-term prisoners to go on farms and prune cocoa and other things, and the farmer paid for that job. Part of what they paid went to the prison, and we opened an account at a commercial bank for the prisoner, and a part of that money went to the family that he had left at home. The other part went towards the purchase of necessities for the prisoner. Private schools also hit by teacher exodus, says JISA president. The flight of educators from Jamaican classrooms for greener pastures overseas has also rocked the private school industry, with the Jamaica Independent Schools Association president theorizing that some have fled because of an unwillingness to handle the rigors of the primary exit profile curriculum. The exodus is affecting everyone. Let's just say it's a struggle trying to find upper school teachers, meaning grade 4 and above. It's a big struggle. A lot of teachers, they don't want anything to do with the PEP, because although I will admit that the initiative and intention of PEP is fantastic for the future building of the nation, there is no doubt about that, but the way it was rolled out and introduced to teachers wasn't the most tactful. It scared a lot of people, Dyer told the news in an interview last week. According to the JISA president, the teachers who are leaving are the PEP teachers, the ones who put in the work. They now know what is required of them overseas. They are now inquiry learning specialists. They are going off to another industry overseas that is going to pay them a minimum 3 times as much, and then who is left here, they don't want to pick up the mantle because it is a lot of stress and very little pay. Dyer's comments come on the heels of a warning earlier this month from the Jamaica Teachers Association that the country should brace for an exodus of teachers this year, as already more than 400 have left the island to take up lucrative job opportunities in the United States. The JTA said that the hundreds who have left so far have done so through 3 of 7 agencies, which are actively recruiting Jamaican teachers who are reputed to be among the best. JISA represents approximately 150 of the just over 600 private schools in the island. There are approximately 38,000 teachers in the education sector, including those in private institutions. Asked what the movement of the educators translate into for private schools come September and how badly JISA schools have been affected, Dyer said, "I've been trying to get 2 upper school teachers for the last 2 months and no bite, and in the principals group every morning you see at least 3 people posting in need of a grade 4 or grade 5 teacher. Every morning you wake up you see 4 or 5 of those messages." Asked if this would affect the quality of PEP grades next year, he said it wouldn't affect next year, but definitely the year after. Asked what internal strategies could be used to fill the gaps left by the outward flow, Dyer said teachers like me can train an in-house teacher, but the risk with that is you have to be able to have somebody that is willing to take up the challenge, because if you put somebody in that situation who doesn't want to do it, as soon as they finish the training, they might just run off and get more pay. As to what the Ministry of Education could do to stem the situation, generally he said, "I don't even have an answer because there is so much they can do and so little they can do at the same time. Because as a nation and a country, teaching is one of the most unappreciated industries, undercompensated. We are the first industry they look to lay blame on when anything goes wrong. Hands down, in any other country you go to as a teacher, you are paid a minimum double, and in half the cases you are not paying taxes. So say for argument's sake, a teacher usually takes home $80,000 after tax. Whichever other country they go to, their salaries are going to double and there is no tax. Chances are their housing and the transportation are paid for, and all they have to worry about is food," Dyer said. The prospects for leaving, he said, were too attractive to the educators who have been holding strain for a while. If they are going to a country like Canada, USA, or Cayman, if they do a good job for 4 years, more than likely they get residency or something, and there is no way they are going to have even half the class size they had in Jamaica. So all in all, what you are really saying to the teacher is come and do half the work for half the stress, and we are going to pay you twice or triple as much. So who is going to say no to that? Dyer reasoned. The JISA president also bemoaned the treatment of Jamaican teachers. "When you look at how we treat our teachers, blame game, and we put more kids in your class. In other countries, Teachers' Day is a holiday. You pay less at the supermarket, at the gas stations. Jamaica has none of these things. When I lived in Asia, just going to the airport and showing my identification, they said, 'Oh, you are a teacher,' and I got to skip the line. In Mexico, it's a public holiday. No school is open. In Jamaica, on Teachers' Day, we are being asked to attend 2 workshops and 2 seminars by the Ministry of Education, and when my teachers look at me and say, 'Do we have to go?' I say, 'No, it's Teachers' Day. Enjoy yourselves,'" Dyer said. Education Minister Favour Williams, in commenting on the revelations of the JTA regarding teacher migration, has assured that there is no cause for alarm. She explained that teachers leave the system every year for reasons such as retirement, noting also that in any given year, between 5 or 7% of teachers are on their earned leave, for example, which means that there is always a need for temporary and permanent replacement teachers. The minister, however, admitted that she was not aware of the specific numbers who are leaving the system due to migration. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.